weeks ago.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Thank you.
I didn't know if you brought that.
Sorry, I didn't usually can.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I was. Chuck today.
Fresh start here.
Doing all right?
I'm like, go. I'm like, I don't even get stuff sent. They send everything in my name. I'm like, what? Put it in the township's name.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good, how are you? Good.
I can't hear you. I've been working on it for months, right?
Well, story, I canceled it. When I posted it, they delayed the Tigers game.
Oh.
It was supposed to be played this afternoon. It was raining down there this afternoon. And I was just listening to it. They said, sun shining down there.
Yeah, I started at 5:10. I'm like, why did you start at 5:10?
Christine, Jack, you too.
Rain delay.
Yeah, they said it was raining down there earlier.
So that's why it started at 5:10.
Yeah, make yourself a new note.
That'll be the first time.
Yeah. I think you got that yesterday.
I just signed up.
Oh, you did? Okay. You don't need this.
This is one,
Let me grab it.
No, you're all right. That's fine.
Dogs and cats. Raining cats and dogs and dogs and cats. Yeah. Well, Mr. Hayes, how are you?
Oh, well,
Waiting for your excellence. Waiting for you. You always say that.
There you go, Chris.
thank you.
You got the start of the meeting there?
Yeah. Make sure everything's away.
Bong.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 5:30. Everybody like to rise and say the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You want to do a roll call, Chuck? Everybody?
Crossen,
Here.
Maasch,
Yes.
Hiner, I'm here, Schneider,
Here.
Rhodes.
Here.
Hughes. Here. Knoblock, absent. We have a quorum.
Anybody, somebody like to approve the minutes from June 11th?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the June 11th meeting.
I'll second.
Anybody here for public?
Probably should vote on it.
Oh, you want to take a roll call vote or all ayes, all approve? Anybody against the minutes? No. Public time? Alright, nothing from new business. Ready? So we'll call the
We need to close it.
Yep, we're gonna close the regular meeting at 5:32 and open the public hearing for the special land use located at 1575 Suncrest Drive for Prospect Builders for the senior housing. Are you guys here to present anything for this?
I brought an updated site plan that showed all the parking spots and everything else that because the one he had initially gave me was a little vague, so I brought the updated one with all the, showing that I had all the parking spots and everything I needed.
Okay.
And then I have blueprints of the project, like the floor plans, I don't know
Could you
if you guys
speak up, please?
I have blueprints of the project. I didn't know if you guys would be interested in seeing, like, because there's 10 apartments on the main floor and then 11 on the second floor. And it has an elevator that goes up to it. Is the plan, so I don't know if you guys would be interested in looking at them.
Okay. We can roll it out on that table if you want.
Yeah.
Roll it out.
Perfect. We'll see what we got. So this is the first and second things I got laid out, just showing you how the rooms are laid out and bathrooms and everything. Okay, just so you can understand what the project actually is.
So you said you had 10 on the first floor and 11 on the.
And it's all a shared hallway to everywhere, all the way to the auditorium at the end. It has a open space auditorium for gathering and what have you, you know, what we're gonna, and then it's got public bathrooms also down there by the auditorium.
Is there a community kitchen?
I will put a kitchen in the auditorium. It'll just be like a basic household kitchen, though, nothing like, you know, it's not gonna be a commercial kitchen. It's just every unit has their own full kitchen, full bathroom, and their own laundry. So they're not dependent on going out of the unit. But it is like, you know, I plan on having an activity coordinator, so we'll do like every Friday, do activities. It's kind of a community, right? You're trying to create more than like individual just apartments. I mean, it is individual apartments for seniors that are looking to gather and live together, you know, kind of more.
What do you consider senior living?
That's what I was gonna ask.
It's probably like, I know 60 is the age, I know 55 is considered senior, but you're looking for more retirement lifestyle people is the way I was there.
So it's more like adult living,
Yeah, senior living.
adult living,
Yeah.
not
Well, senior
necessarily,
housing.
not disabled or not.
No, nothing.
Necessarily
It's just
like-
they're all on their own. I'm not providing any assistance or anything. We have plenty of those types of buildings. We just don't have any just like senior apartments that are affordable. You know, I'm looking to make them more affordable. Because you're kind of like, and they're unique, you know,
Okay.
the second floor is gonna have open ceilings. So it'll be like 12-foot ceilings throughout your unit.
Do you have a manager on site?
Yeah, I will have somebody else. I I have a
Lives
front.
on site.
So will there be somebody who lives there or something
Yeah,
24/7?
that's what I'm hoping, because I have that front little building out front, and I plan on I have an office I wanna put in, and then I was planning on making that the manager's unit, because it's detached from the building, but they're still there, just in case anything arises, any problems arise. But it will be a day-to-day, like, someone there 9 to 5, you know, that's just a normal office or apartment. To handle anything, you have anything, so.
And so month to month or yearly fees?
Probably do yearly, right? I mean, that's what usually, that way if you have a contract, everyone doesn't feel like they're gonna get booted or something, you know, it's kind of yearly seems like the best for everybody.
So is it set up for just like one single person per?
No, there's 2-bedroom units and there's 1-bedroom units.
Okay.
There's a studio and up to big 1-bedroom large units, you know, just, there's no unit that's alike, is the thing
Right,
about this
okay.
building. Is we're using an existing abandoned building, you know, we're just trying to figure something out. We've been just working on the outside, trying to get a game plan of what we could actually even use the building for, and this is what we've come up to with at this point.
One of the requirements in our special land use provisions for R2 is that minimum dwelling unit size shall be 350 square feet per unit, not including any kitchen or sanitary facilities.
Yes.
Do yours all meet that?
Yes.
What are the size ranges in your units?
I mean, some of them are, like, they go from, I mean, they're saying on there like 550 to 1,200.
Again, I can't.
Like 550 to 1,200 square feet.
Okay, so you're well over the 350.
Yeah, we're plenty good, because everyone has their own bedroom, their own bathroom, kitchen, living and dining. There is one smaller unit, but it just meets that. And I believe I'll be planning for that, or, you know.
There are some 2-bedroom units.
There's, I think 6 2-bedroom units. Which we made one of the bedrooms a little bigger than the other, so the other can become an office. Or if some people wanna share, you know, 2 friends wanna move in together, they can, right? You can't, I mean, whatever, the options are there.
Well, across the road, that's what those houses were all supposed to be,
Oh, yeah.
and then they weren't. So,
Yeah.
a lot of people were interested in it.
It's just a different style, because I mean, see, you have like the memory care, you have all the different types, you just know, like, senior community living, whereas you're all together, you know. Then you don't have to go out of the building to go to anyone, it's all the entrance and the elevator to get there. And there's 3 staircases in the building, so it's real nice to move around if you need to in the building.
It would be cool to, if you guys went through it. I get a kick out of it. I'm this old guy, and I build houses on this, and he's the guy that I own the parades there. But the building's kind of cool when you go upstairs in the attic and see what the attic looks like. It's kind of a neat.
It was built in the 1870s, I'm assuming, right around,
Yeah, I don't think it says your bill is 2005 on our sheet, which is obviously
Yeah.
wrong.
I've been doing some research, and it sounded like the 1880s, it was the poor farm,
Yep.
where everybody used to come, if they didn't
With
have money,
money.
they would move there, and they
Yeah.
would work for a home, and it was just a big housing complex back then, actually.
I think it was the old Suncrest, was it not?
It was the Wild Stewart building.
Yeah, the school.
When I was a kid, it was a 4-H building.
Okay,
When I was a little girl, we called it the bubble building, because they had the window,
yeah,
Yeah.
the bubble window building,
right,
when I was a little girl in 4-H. And
yeah, my daughter's in 4-H,
yeah, that's where I used to go, that was like the main office for,
Lapeer County.
yes.
How many apartments altogether?
There'll be 21, and on the main floor, and then 11 on the second floor.
And what is your name?
Andrew Harlow.
Andrew.
And this is Jeff Fritz. He's built several homes in the neighborhood, or in the Lapeer and around surrounding areas. He's my partner.
Does the building still have an elevator in it?
It will, yes. It has the elevator. The shaft was there. The roof was gone off of it and everything. So we had to like get it ready up to date. But yeah, it will be.
You'll need one for.
It'll have a 3-story elevator. It'll go to the 3rd floor, even though the 3rd floor is not occupied, but it already was designed that way. So we kind of just put it up there.
Is everything handicap accessible?
Yeah, the main corridors, everything, like the open areas, the bathrooms, not all the units are, but there are handicap accessible units. Some of them, you know, on the main floor. Like, that's part of the code, you have to have those to meet requirements. We do
Is that through the state too? Do you have certain?
No, that's through the code authority.
Through just construction?
Yeah. Because that was one of the things they asked on plan review, so we came back with a unit that fit, the building, or, you know, that make it handicap accessible units. Because we went through plan review the first time and then we've been through it again, so they've looked at everything and I think, we're getting close, I'm hoping.
Do we have a site plan?
Yeah,
Besides
I mean,
parking?
yeah, I have it right here, actually.
What's that?
The site plan, that's not.
I'm not asking for a site plan review.
Oh,
Okay.
How many acres?
3.3.
Um,
So I'll give my opinion. So this building has been residential for so long that it's, should have probably not be. And so to me, it's almost like apartment living, but it's R2. And it fits in our zoning book. In our rules, it does. As far as the manager unit detached, I don't know about that.
I don't have to, I could turn that into a gym or whatever, I don't really care, I mean, because I do plan on using part of the building.
And I like your idea because I do think it's needed. I mean, we all go, I'm sure we've all been to Florida and seen communities for
That's nice.
older people, whether it's detached in all separate homes, but in a community that's this many, you know, I don't know if they do most of them 65 or older or 60 or older. And like I had said, the big project across the way. That's what that was supposed to be, was housing for the elderly, and we've had people calling nonstop going, well, when are they gonna build it? I need to know when to put my house for sale, and it just never, they didn't go in that direction. They came for site plan, they came for everything, especially everything. It was supposed to be a 3-phase, single housing
Condominium.
for elderly people only. And then like phase 2 was like a community center for them, and so almost like a little compound. And people were very interested in that. But they just didn't go in that direction, which surprised me because there was so much interest in that. But it was a little different because they were single standing homes, not.
Right. But at least we're like, they're individual units where everyone has their own, you know, we're not sharing.
And when you said
community
senior,
rooms.
you know, I think I put it in a senior housing, I think is what your paperwork said.
Yeah, that's pretty much what the.
You know, we call everything different. Try to make it sound, I guess, to me, make it sound better.
Yeah.
Long and short care term, you know, facilities is not what the old folks home we used to call it.
Right.
When we were
Nursing
younger.
home.
Nursing
is what we
home.
used to use
And
to
now
call
they
them.
give
I
it
was
a
kid.
nicer name.
Yeah.
So so I'm glad to hear that it's not just for, you know, people who can't live by themselves. Or,
Right, no, that's what, we have plenty of that
because
from
I
what
think
I've
there,
seen
yes.
already.
So I am glad to hear that it's
It's
for,
gonna be,
people
just
who,
apartments.
you know, maybe lost their
Just-
spouse,
they just
or
want-
they
they want it
don't wanna
simple.
live by themselves,
Yeah.
but they wanna have their own space. so.
Yeah, and they can do their own laundry, I mean, that's
Yeah.
what's nice about every unit, having a full apartment, their own kitchen sink, their own stove, you know, everything, the refrigerators.
Cause that is one thing in Lapeer, I don't think there's very many things, I mean, I know we have the senior center, but there's,
Yeah, and
You know,
then like
people
you
wanna
get a
do
friend and
things
then you
with-
bring your friend in and it's
Yeah.
like, that's how
and
you
new
build the
people.
community, you know, obviously we're not just, you know, love to
Yeah,
try to
no,
get
I
people
get it.
in there.
I was actually, at the hair salon last week, and the lady came in to get something done, she was going to a senior dance and was very excited about it, we don't have anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, you could, that if you
Yeah.
have somebody that comes on the, you
Yeah,
know.
and I
that
was a
works
couple
in
towns,
things,
yeah, I was a couple towns away, so,
So they can invite their friends and everything, you know, cause the auditorium is like, it's pretty big.
Is it?
unit. And then we do plan on building like a little outdoor area too.
Yeah.
To make it nice, you know, some outdoor space. They'll have a patio right off the bat, but we plan on putting a gazebo and stuff, just gotta get it going. And make it nice, cause it was abandoned for a long time, so it needed a
no,
lot
I
of love.
know,
And
I feel old saying, I used to go there as a little girl, and I remember it had an elevator in there, that was not something I always saw
Yeah,
as a kid.
I
It
know.
was an elevator and,
Well, it definitely ended up being more of a project than we thought.
I'm sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, we started looking at the window, we had put new gutters and roofs on it, just to get the outside fixed up has been but it looks a lot better than, and, you know, we mow the grass now and stuff like that, that helps a lot around it, because before it was just overrun and abandoned looking.
Yeah.
Well, if it's our special land use, by just a smidgen over the, because the allowed acres, because it's 3 acres for
Right.
senior housing,
Mhm.
for senior housing, so that fits.
Does Lonnie have any comments on?
Well-
On the height of the dwelling, or that's, and the restrictions on.
Yeah, like Diane mentioned, section 8 of your zoning ordinance, housing for elderly, when the following conditions are met, to meet the criteria to get an SLU, special land use, for senior living, or housing for the elderly is what the ordinance says. Considered, like she mentioned, 3 acres, it meets that. Cottage style, 1-story, or apartments type, it's an apartment type. Common services, you mentioned the common rooms and that. Minimum dwelling sizes, you asked, over the 350 square feet. Total coverage of all buildings, and this is why I asked about the site plan. Total coverage of all buildings shall not exceed 25% of the total site, not including any dedicated right-of-way. This gives the property size, which is about 13,000 square feet, but doesn't give the building size, so I can't tell you if it meets 25%. The two buildings that are there.
And it doesn't have it on here.
Are they on your drawings?
The
The building? that's
Yeah, I
there?
have the size of the building is like, I mean, it says the square footage for the first floor is 10,365 plus 1,500 for the main auditorium. So 10,365 plus 1,500.
11,865.
And then, yeah, that's
Use of,
10,365.
and what about the outbuilding?
I
Said
would say
1,500?
Yeah, well, no, the auditorium's 1,500, the outbuilding, I would say, is probably only like,
It shows 2
800.
existing buildings.
That's the little thing here.
That's the auditorium?
No, that's,
no.
the auditorium's connected, this is the
Well,
outbuilding.
this is
Right.
the auditorium here,
This
this
is
is
the
not,
little
I don't
The
believe
little
it.
outbuilding.
And then this is the outbuilding here, it's about 800 square feet. I don't even think it's even that.
So you don't
this
think the
is-
auditorium is included in the 10,000?
Right,
Okay.
because I have the second floor, I built it,
Okay.
so that's why I know that. So it'd be the,
Yeah, I remember it.
Well, with 3 acres, you're looking at about 140,000 square feet. And 25% of that, you know, there's no way you're near 35,000 square feet on the buildings.
I mean, I could go maybe pull up the record card, but I don't know if I would, I don't know if I would trust the
Well,
record
I'm
card.
just pointing out that now, you've got a couple of issues here, because Then you get down to the last item, buildings of greater height than the maximum allowed in Article 14, which is 25 feet. They may be allowed provided the front, side, and rear yards are increased above the minimum required yards by 1 foot for each foot of height, building height. And we had this when they came over, they wanted the, over on Westbrook.
You know what the height of the building is?
No, I don't. I could tell you each floor is 12 foot tall
Well,
ceilings.
It's 3 stories, so you know it's at least 3 feet.
Well, the third story is only a roof, it's built into the roof.
I understand it's existing structure, but that doesn't take away from what your ordinance says. Your ordinance says, you know, it has to meet the maximum height unless you can increase the setbacks. Well, the front setbacks required in residential is 100 feet. And the setbacks in this building is 55 feet from the road. Now, what you've got, regardless of whether it's senior living or R2, you know, single family home, it's a non-conforming, existing non-conforming structure. Okay, so my point is when you go through this list of the requirements in the ordinance, you take into consideration that we're not allowing new build. This is already a pre-existing structure. So take that into account as to, does it meet the other requirements? Okay. So I mean, it's, now, should you decide to grant the special land use, going to Jayme's, you know, the senior living, you can specify 55 and up, period. And you can specify, you could actually specify right down to that grandparents have grandchildren come over to visit, and those visits for grandchildren can be limited to 30 days, 90 days, and no more. And if they exceed that, then they're in violation.
Yeah.
So
I would definitely be willing to throw something like
I mean, you can't.
I would say
tell-
like a week or two max, to be honest.
Well, that's it. You
Because you
can't
got a whole
tell
bunch of
them
old
you
people
can't have your
you don't
grandkids
want.
come spend the night.
Right, but you don't want them there long term, moving in or
And-
something.
And I think
don't want them.
what he's kind of saying is if, when it's yours, this
Yeah.
is what you want to do, but the next guy could say. "That's not
Right.
good."
So but I'm willing to agree to those terms, if that's, you know what I mean, like, we definitely can put those terms
Well,
in.
and that's my
On the
point, is
approval.
you can put those restrictions on.
Mhm.
You don't just say, yep, here you go.
No, yeah, I'm definitely willing to agree.
Special land use.
Especially now, cause it seems like everybody's living with their rich or whatever, grandma and grandpa, and with their kids. And
Yeah,
their
I'm
wife,
with you,
girlfriend.
I'm definitely willing
That
to
ain't
throw all
gonna
that, like, into the,
Yeah.
I mean, agree to all that. Cause the 55 and over, I would say 2 weeks limit, really, over a month's a long time.
Yeah,
The month, a month.
I mean, I can see for the summer, maybe coming for 2 weeks, so that's about it to me. I mean, I've got 4 kids, and they don't go to their grandparents unless they're living there that long, you know what I mean?
They got grandkids and they want to stay.
Yeah, they don't want them that long, you know, it's like a double-edged sword.
That's all it is.
Okay. What do you guys have anything to say about that? I, in my opinion, I do think we should put age requirement on it, just so, I mean, he's the next guy,
100%.
to stick with.
No, I agree,
that.
because that's what's supposed to be senior housing.
I mean, are we
Yeah.
okay with 55 and over? I mean, I think that's kind of young, but.
I know, that's why I was saying maybe 60.
I'm
Because
thinking
you're looking
how
for
old I am,
retired
but-
people
Yeah,
that
I might
want to be
wanna
part of
move there.
the community more.
That's normal.
Most of them are 55, that's a normal thing.
Some people
Yeah.
retire at 55, but I don't know who.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna be,
what's that?
I'm retiring at 55.
No, well, we're not.
It doesn't say retired, it says senior living, because it's
No,
not
he
retired.
said.
Well, I mean, but you kind of want like it to be like, you know,
Retirement,
people that
yeah.
are
Same
there
age
more
people,
together.
People aren't
more.
going to full-time
Yeah.
jobs, yes.
same age kind of people,
Yeah.
so you don't, yeah, I got you.
Just-
Will be, it's not.
I don't know, what do you guys think about the age?
I'd move it up to 60 just because.
60 and over?
Yeah, I'm
Not
okay
too
with
many
60.
people, yeah, not too many people 55.
And that's what I'm saying, they're not gonna
And
wanna
if-
move with a whole bunch of other
If
people.
they do retire, they usually move in
Not
a
yet.
place like that.
Not
Most of
yet,
the time, I
yeah.
would say.
And some of it will be state people, you know, like we're looking to go get some people that the state will help and stuff,
Yep.
you know what I mean? So,
Oh, absolutely.
to
I
keep
think
all the
that's-
branches open
That's a
for
given,
keeping
for
it
sure
full
nowadays.
Yeah.
and everything, you know.
Well, in a day, 60 is the new 55.
It is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
cause they bumped the retirement age up and everything else on.
So what age are we talking about?
Are you guys all thinking 60?
Yeah.
60 and over?
Yeah.
Do we wanna put, something in there that anybody comes to visit
Beat it by
for no more than 2 weeks? I mean, I don't know, we're not
I
gonna be
would-
checking.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
I guess
It's just like the guys we run
Who checks that,
into
Bonnie?
working with our landscape stuff. They've got a girlfriend or a fiance and they've got 2 kids and they're living in their, 75 and 80-year-old grandma's house.
Yep.
In the basement because they can and she won't say no. And
Yeah.
I think that would be
Well, I'm
bad for
just-
the rest of the people.
What I'm
No,
saying
it
is,
will.
And we
Bonnie,
can't, I don't wanna see
see,
that.
No,
one
that's what I'm saying.
one
Put a
of the,
limit.
people who live there come to complain and say they have their grandkids living in there,
Right,
and are tearing the place up. Who goes and checks that?
well, it should be in our,
Is
we
it you?
can put it in
Is
our
it the zoning
bylaws too.
administrator, is it?
I mean, you know what I'm saying though. 'cause
Yes.
now
I'm just
we
trying
get
to be
some-
realistic.
No,
Who
that's what I'm
goes
saying,
and
we can
checks
put it in
that?
our bylaws that like,
Just
if,
the police.
for reason of eviction, if you can't, if you can't get rid of the people living with it, then you gotta go too.
Yeah.
I mean, we could put it right in the bylaws, pretty much. The way I would look at it.
Cause I do think you'll get a lot of, interest.
Yeah, that's why we were
I was
looking for
bummed
it.
for the one that I was talking about.
Yeah.
I was kinda disappointed that didn't happen.
Right. Well,
That
this
would have
is
been
tough.
a good area, you're close to the town,
Yeah,
shopping
and if you're willing to live with a friend, you can live for a lot cheaper too, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that's what's nice about the units too. is that
And the
you-
friendship.
and.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying,
Well, sometimes it gets lonely.
yeah.
some people
Well, that's
don't
what's
like to
nice
be
about the building
some
is
people
you'll be
don't like
with a
to
whole
be
bunch
alone.
of people.
Yeah.
As long as you get along with them, that's the only concern.
Well, let me tell you, with the, having a cemetery out here, people come here all the time just to talk and, cause they're
Yeah.
lonely.
Lonely. That's why
They're
if you
very
get them
lonely.
together, they can talk to each other and you create a nice atmosphere. That's what we're looking to do.
I have one lady, she was
Yeah,
my old bus driver when I was a kid. She was there all the time.
yeah. We got little gathering spots in the hallways and other spots that you can gather.
Any thoughts?
Yeah. Couches and stuff.
Yeah, that's what we're planning, is just gather outside. But then everyone's got their own unit to gather in too, you know?
Yeah.
Some units would be some more of the gathering units or whatever.
Increased to go minimum by 1 foot for each. And the way that building sits, if you look at.
11 units total.
Well,
21.
So 11.
Total.
Well, yeah, 11 and
That's
then
all the way
10, yeah,
around.
so
This
21.
is what you should put it that way. No issue. If it is an issue, that's why we have a ZBA. It's an existing structure.
How many acres?
Right, exactly.
Grandfather existence.
I don't want to hear you do this.
No.
Well, I'll make a motion to accept the special land use for 1575 Suncrest Drive.
I'll support.
And I wanna put the stipulation of
I've got a couple that you
the
want.
60 and over.
Got that?
And anybody under 60,
One way to look at that would be so many days per year, or it's one way. Or it could
yeah, I
be-
guess, do we say 30 days a year, that's it?
Well, that way, if they
I mean,
want to spend a couple days at Christmas,
Christmas
a
and
couple
that's
days
what I
at
was
other
thinking.
holidays.
Yeah, what if they just, the kid left for a day and he's back and now we got another 30 days or
That's-
something, you know?
yeah,
what I
like
mean?
we say 2 weeks.
Something like that,
Yeah.
that's what you could.
You wanna say 30 days, no more than 30 days per year.
30 days in a 6-month period.
That's even long. I would say
That would
30
be up-
per year, or 15 per 6 months, and, what, say 30 a year, I'm good with 30 a year.
Where you getting the catch though, is if you got somebody that comes out of rehab, let's say, and they're elderly and they're my parents and I need to go over there and stay with them until they're ready to get back to normal life. That's the only place you get yourself in
I mean, there's always that, right?
We're always, but somebody, you know, a kid isn't.
They might just drive
Right.
home now,
That's
that's
where
why
you're
they
building
move their
from.
family close a lot.
Yeah, that's when you're,
Bylaw, that's,
You know,
building,
that's,
yeah.
that's.
Yeah, and worst case
And I
scenario, then you
probably would
address
think
that.
about that, and like you said in your contract.
Bylaws.
Yeah, bylaws, we gotta make sure we don't have any problems for ourselves, you know what I mean?
when do you anticipate you're open?
Well, I'm hoping within a year, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, if everything goes
That's a
good.
Well, that's a lot, I mean,
It's a lot of
that's,
work.
it's 21 little houses,
Yeah,
you know.
ultimately, everyone's gotta get its own power, the hot water is the only thing shared, and the gas, so the gas is included in the units in the hot water, so.
I just wanna know when to put my house up for soon.
We gotta,
Well,
come look at it early.
we wanna
When
look
you
at
get
two
your
bedroom,
first
maybe we'll
stickers.
hang out together.
I'm not old enough, thank you.
I'm not old enough either, unfortunately.
Do you have a waiting list?
No, we haven't even started.
No.
But once we get an idea, like, so we can show at least something close to a unit done, then we can,
What's it gonna be called?
we're not sure right now.
What other stuff is that?
I
Anyway,
like I did like his
So
farm,
can you
a
read it?
farm, I did like the
Okay,
farm.
do you wanna read it back, Chuck?
Always do.
Okay.
Alright, let's read it.
Motion by Crossen, second by Hiner, to approve the special land use for 1575 Suncrest Drive with the following conditions. Permanent residents must be older than 60 years. Second condition, no overnight guests under 60 years will be allowed for more than 30 days per year.
Do you have the parcel number?
I think he's gonna.
It's got it on the site plan if you
Yep.
need it.
Parcel number, that's it.
I'm good with that. Okay. So we'll take a roll call. Oh, anybody wanna comment on that?
Hang on. You got back up. You got to close your public hearing.
Close it and then do comment?
Close it
Okay.
and do
The comment,
the motion.
oh,
Close your.
Yeah.
public
okay,
hearing.
so we'll close the public hearing at 6:02. And open the regular meeting. And do you wanna read the motion just one more time?
Now, before.
I would like it to
before
say
we read that,
60.
Let me make him a suggestion.
Okay,
You put in there, something about the 60.
yes, it said over 60.
Yeah. I would put it in as 60.
I would like it to say 60 and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
60 and over.
So people who are
So it's-
60 can
so it's
be
clear.
there, not 61 and over.
That'd be silly.
Yeah.
So now,
To be,
Jamie, you want to
so to be 60 years or older.
restate, you don't have to state the motion, but you have to make the motion.
So permanent residents must be 60 years or older.
You're correct. That's what I would like it to say. So I'll make a motion to approve the special land use for 1575 Suncrest Drive
And I'll second.
with,
That way,
with the,
with the,
With that motion that you have.
correct.
wanna read it again?
No, we'll do a roll call.
Crossen,
Yes.
Maasch,
Yes.
Hiner, yes. Schneider,
Yes.
Boots, Hughes,
Yes.
and Knoblock is absent. We have 6 ayes, motion carries.
All right, we don't have any old business.
They will need to come
And,
back to us with a full-blown site plan.
No, they're not required.
They will have to.
Oh, they will.
Our ordinance says any change of use, you have to submit a new site plan.
It's not a change of use,
No.
it's still R2.
Well, that's the zoning. The use was as a government
Special.
office building. They're changing the use to an apartment building. So there's a
When
use
was
change.
it government building?
Well, that'll be
If
something-
That's up to you.
That'll
I
be
mean,
something for
I
later,
don't know what
but
you're gonna require on the site plan, because everything's
Well,
existing.
there are a number of issues that, we've not seen, other than your initial application for the, special land use.
Yes.
We haven't seen what you're doing with parking, if that needs.
I got that on
That's
that
right
site
here.
plan here.
Lonnie figured that out,
It
there's,
hasn't been presented to us in review.
Okay, I did turn an initial one, but not with the parking spots, I agree. So I can come back next month,
It's a,
I mean,
site plans are a whole separate deal than special land use. Whole different thing.
okay,
And there are things that are required on our site plans, there's a checklist, there's a whole list of things that are required.
okay,
Parking, lighting, dumpsters,
all right,
landscaping, all manner of things that are required on our site plan review, which we haven't had an opportunity to do yet with your property.
okay. Would I be able to start working on the building outside of that, or to get the permit, like just to get it rolling? Or do I have to have that?
How does CCA deal with that? Have they pulled permits for everything?
I haven't pulled any permits yet, cause
Again, you've got a kind of a catch-22 situation, a normal situation. There's no building permits issued until everything is signed off by the township, site plan review and special land use. But in this instance, you're dealing with existing structures. There's no new structures being put on the property. Okay, it's basically a remodel. So if this board says, yes, we're okay with you to go ahead with your remodel, but we still want the site plan review, you know, again, it's two separate issues, like you said, that's zoning, the site plan review. And to me, this is opinion, and I'm not arguing with you, Chuck. The building's not gonna meet site plan requirements of your zoning. Because it's too tall, too close to the road. Again, it's a pre-existing, non-conforming structure.
So you may have to see the ZBA about the height.
No, it's pre-existing.
Okay.
So that's why I say.
Well, my question about the permits is, you know, anytime you get into the trades, you know, because that's what you do.
Mhm.
You know, the electrical, the plumbing, the structural, the ADA requirements, all of those things, even though the building was there and it was kind of
right,
left over from being an office building, there's a significant amount of trade work that's being done in that building.
True.
And you're gonna need finals on plumbing and electrical and all the other stuff. So my question was, had they pulled any permits for what you've already done?
no, not yet, we haven't done anything, we're just getting, we're
but a
waiting on
site
this
plan isn't
review.
required for residential or for housing for the elderly, correct?
That's a good question.
And if we're looking at, this is strictly a residential, single-family thing, it's a totally different deal than what they're doing. Now you've got apartments, and you probably are building codes that are applicable to.
Yeah,
apartment
my
uses.
architect, yeah,
All that
that's
kind
all
of
part
stuff,
of plan
fire
review.
egresses and, you know,
Yeah.
firewalls and all that
All
other
that's
stuff.
in my drawings,
Yeah, But
and they've done plan review already on all that.
if permits haven't been pulled for that stuff yet,
Right,
they're gonna have to be before you can get final approval for it.
oh, 100.
What about your septic and stuff too?
It's a sewer there, actually.
Oh, for the city?
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
I did call, I do
Good.
have to get that new
They're on
tap.
that
Yeah.
sun,
But
they're
I
on that
do have
Suncrest
to-
strip that
Yeah,
goes
that's right.
township water and city sewer.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. I forgot about that.
The parking lot lights are all existing, I mean, all the infrastructure's there on all that and everything, on the parking lot and the lighting and all that was there prior, and it all works, I put a generator on them and hooked them up and make sure they all work and everything. But I gotta get it all wired together, obviously.
Looks a lot different.
Yeah, we just painted the outside and put a new roof on it, we had to stop the leaking and everything, that was the hardest part about it.
So what about the parking, are you gonna redo the whole parking lot, or?
I plan on doing at least enough for the 50 spots for sure to start, and then I think most of it's salvageable in other areas, but I do plan on redoing the area for the parking for the tenants, but the other parts, just gotta get the weeds pulled out of it and
Yeah.
cart over some of it.
For cases requiring site plan review solely as a result of building reoccupancy, site plan review procedures may be modified and at the discretion of the zoning administrator to provide an administrative review, not have to go through planning. In lieu of a more formal review by the planning commission. So you can waive that site plan review. Now, it's still, even though it's gonna go, would not go in front of this board, it still has to, you still gotta meet the parking requirements, you still get, you basically still have to meet the zoning.
With section 1600, the lead paragraph is prior to the establishment of a new use, change of use, addition to an existing structure, a site plan is required, and it's a change of use.
Mm-hmm. Go
It's
down to
changing
C.
from office.
Go down to C.
Building reoccupancy.
Building reoccupancy.
It's
Site
not
plan
just a
review.
reoccupancy, it's a use change.
Different use.
They're changing it from an office
That,
to
if
residence.
that's your interpretation, then you can require a full site plan review. That's up to this board.
Cause if not, you.
Given the extreme change of use.
To make somebody go
from
all the
office
way-
to residence, I think we need
To make
to
somebody
fix
go
that.
through site plan review when it's already residential, that should have been changed a long time ago. And it's residential, so you don't have to do
Well, the
site plan
zoning,
for
the zoning residential, but the building use, Chuck's right, the building use.
But it's residential,
It is, it's just like
Right.
the rezoning of the school building.
but it's allowed in residential, it wouldn't be a Dollar
Well,
General.
but,
And
okay, you're right,
Yeah.
but,
so to go through
This-
site plan to say where's your dumpster gonna be, and we know there's gonna be 50 spaces, I don't think you can have anything less than at least 21 plus,
Yeah,
you know.
I think 50 is the minimum.
well.
I think-
But it also says site plan review is not required for single family.
It's multi.
So it's
it's
residential.
not multi-family.
Yeah,
It's our-
it's multi,
Right.
so it
It's-
falls under,
I don't see how you can say it's multi-family when it's R2.
no, R2 is a zoning,
Yeah,
Mhm.
R2 is a zoning,
but there's multiple people
multifamily is a
within that.
use.
There's not one person, and there's a
Right,
bunch of
right.
people.
because you're R2, but you're under a special land use.
Right,
I mean, I'm just pointing out
I
that,
agree with you.
you know,
And I understand that, but
that's why I say it's up
That's
to
why it
this
doesn't
board.
work
If
when
this
it's-
board wants a full
yeah.
formal site plan review, then they can require it, or they can ask for an administrative review. Now, what you're gonna look at in the site plan review is parking and landscaping. You're not gonna look at building locations, you're not gonna
Right,
put setbacks,
exactly.
that's what I'm
heights
saying,
and
that's,
stuff like that, that's.
But if we have it, it needs to be on
He's
paper anyway.
he's showing us that he's gonna have 50 spots.
Well,
We're not gonna be able to have anything to say about anything
Yeah,
over
no,
there.
there's plenty of access drives, there's,
And
and then the
landscaping,
dumpsters.
to come back and pay all that money to, and wait a whole nother month for landscaping and parking and a dumpster location? I think that's a lot to ask. When we're taking a building that has looked like garbage for probably 30 plus years.
Yeah, it's
You
been
know,
abandoned
I
since
mean,
like
I can't even,
01.
I think I was under
Yeah.
10 the last time I went
Since
there.
what?
01, I believe,
Oh,
was the
what?
last time it was occupied.
Yeah, but we still have to have some kind of paperwork,
Yeah.
But I'm saying
Regardless.
it's.
And
because otherwise there's no rules.
I can get the
It's
site,
the rules that we can decide is landscape, parking, dumpster. That's it.
and I can provide those on the site plan for
At
the
least it's
administrator
there.
review like he's
Right.
talking about.
But you say at least it's there, that's a lot of money to
and you can.
make somebody pay, make somebody wait another month. This is 20 days from now. And that's if you pay,
But you can,
you know.
but you could also
Administrator.
say that you may go ahead and pull your permits, because everything that's being done in the building is inside the building. It's
Mhm.
basically a remodel,
Mhm.
okay? So, so you can go ahead and apply for your permits, get your permits, and then,
Mhm.
and then the site plan, that type of site plan come later. Not, so CCA would not have to wait for that
Right.
site plan.
Yeah, I don't
approval.
think we should making them wait, 'cause it's already July. I mean, do I need to make a motion for that, or does that need to be in the
For what?
original? that it's just done administratively?
If you wanted done it, I would, just so that it's clear.
Exactly.
Cause I can get the landscaping tree, I did plan on landscaping, but I can have it drawn on the site plan. There's a lot of existing trees and everything, most of the landscaping would just be some like shrubbery around the.
At least there's something on paper so we don't get in an argument down the road, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, I 100%.
That's what I want, because somebody else comes in there, or, you know, whatever happens, at
No,
least
I
it's
agree.
on paper.
I can add the landscaping to the site plan that I provided.
If it goes to administrative, it's basically, I won't say you're eliminating the landscaping, you know, parking is set by code. I mean, that's already, the parking's not a question. What's gonna come into question when we do a plan review for the building permit is how many handicap spaces are you providing? You know, they're showing two, and out of 50 spaces, I don't know that 2 is sufficient.
Well,
I
how
don't
many
know.
handicapped people are gonna be there?
Well, but the code, but the building code
Right.
tells how many per,
Right.
Right, I understand.
and so that's, you know, kind of a moot point as far as.
Are you planning on more than 2 out of your 50?
I can, definitely, I mean, the parking lot is probably, park 100 people.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a massive parking lot, it's half the property.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the site plan, it's half the property.
I think you'll need that.
No, I definitely
Nowadays,
plan
you
on
look
doing
in-
more handicap than
Everybody's
2.
handicapped.
It'd probably be like 4 or 6, cause you're gonna have older people that
Oh,
aren't
yeah.
gonna be able to move.
Even, I mean, even,
You know what I mean, up to the door.
I had a handicap sticker for a year when I was 33.
Yeah, when you get your foot hurt or anything, I mean, it can happen, so yeah, I definitely would have, like, I could draw 6 spaces up
Right.
by the door,
Yeah,
for sure. That wouldn't be no
well,
problem.
mine was from cancer, so
I'd like to make a
once I was done
motion.
with that, then I had to
There we go.
get rid of it.
I'd like to make a motion to allow the applicant to obtain necessary building permits as of this date. The applicant is also required to submit a site plan for approval.
Did you write the date in there? Did you write the date in
I
there?
said as of this date, which would be, well, I can change that.
Site plan approval, not administrative review.
Okay, as of July 9th, 2025. Okay.
Read it again, Chuck, I'm sorry. 'Cause you-
To allow the applicant to obtain necessary building permits as of July 9th, 2025. The applicant is also required to submit a site plan for approval.
Site plan for review,
Review.
submit a site plan for review, that's when you said approval, okay. You're assuming that, when you say it, a site plan for approval, you're assuming that what they're gonna submit is gonna be approved. So you
Review,
have to review it,
Yeah.
so the word should be
Site
reviewed.
plan for review.
Yes,
Administrative review?
no, he's asking for a planning commission review,
Plan, full plan.
full site plan.
Okay. Motion by Hiner, second by Ash. To allow the applicant to obtain necessary building permits as of July 9th, 2025. The applicant is also required to submit a site plan for review.
To the planning commission. Keep adding words to your motion, but that's,
Right on.
you know, it's like, who do I submit it to? That's, yeah, to the planning.
So then I would just come back to here again?
Come back
and
for a
meet
site
you guys
plan
again?
review.
Okay.
Just assume.
Oh, the checklist.
Applicant is also required to
And
submit
the
a site
checklist,
plan to the planning commission for review.
And checklist, we need that, right? We need a checklist.
He's not gonna have to do the checklist, because the checklist is for a full site plan review for commercial. If you look at the checklist, it's,
Dumpster parking spots.
Okay. We got a roll
No.
call.
well, no. Are we doing a roll call?
It's up to you.
I would know.
Did you say something about signage, do we need that?
No, just like that.
It's just looking at where to go.
No, just like
Are you doing a roll call, Chuck? We're gonna do a roll call.
Motion by Hiner, second by Maasch, to allow the applicant to obtain necessary building permits as of July 9th, 2025. The applicant is also required to submit a site plan to the planning commission for review.
Not he has more.
Now, if we say no, there's two things to it, when they get the permits and then the site plan review. We're saying no to both of those if we vote no, correct?
Saying no to the whole thing, yes. That's what I'm saying is no to the whole thing.
So that really should be two.
That's not his motion. His motion is for both things. What's your comment, Lonnie?
Motion
I
allows.
thought there was a section. I thought there was a section in your zoning that, lack of better way of saying it, waived the checklist. Waived all the requirements of the checklist. There's something about, new projects, expanding the convertible projects. That's a special approval. Okay.
I can't vote on that the way it's written.
And just say no.
Don't agree with that. I framed the motion to address two things. One, they don't have to wait until everything is all said and done to start pulling permits for doing what you're already doing. That eliminates that delay for you. And the second part is to address the change of use and give documentation to the township for what they're planning for the overall site. Even though they're not doing new construction, they're doing most of the work inside, there are still other factors in our site plan that need to be addressed and documented for our permanent records. So that's why I framed it the way I did.
So if you vote no, you're saying no, they cannot.
Joy, I can't.
No, you're just saying no to that motion.
You're saying no to that motion, you're not agreeing with the motion.
Come back.
So if you vote yes, you're agreeing to it. If you vote no, you're not. Crossen?
No.
Maasch?
I'm agreeing to that motion.
Hiner, yes. Schneider?
Yes.
Boots?
I say no.
No. Hughes?
Yes.
We have 4 yes, 2 no's, motion carried.
Probably because he needs to probably fill it out today and pay for it, so he can keep moving.
And then we can, if he has questions, we can get a hold of him, because some of the items on the site plan review are not gonna be applicable. Setback.
Right.
Right.
Et cetera.
I can come meet you at your office or whatever.
Pardon?
I can just come over to your office and talk about it or whatever, if you want, whatever.
Good luck finding me.
I know to get there early. You're only there for an hour a day.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:24. All in favor, sorry. Aye. Oh.
FYI.
All right.
It is future.
Oh, thanks.
I always do.
I'll grab that stuff for you if you want to wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got it, yeah.
Well, I see you next.
Other than that,
Stay with the blue and the navy.
sometimes, yes.
You know,
I kinda wanna grab
Everyone said it was a-
no, it's a nice color.
And not like cold. Yeah. I had $4. Yeah. No. Good luck, guys.
He's getting you your information.
Yeah.
Make sure it's open.
No, I will.
But I usually put in, it looks really nice. Pardon?
If you know anybody who wants to get in there, just let us know, okay?
Looking a lot better than it did.
Yeah.
We can't go on by that. We
No,
can't go by the rules, we have to, we can't go by our own personal, we don't go on.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
We have to go on what, go by the book and what's right. Not by our own personal. So it looks so much better. It looks very good.
The biggest things to keep.
Yeah. Get with Lonnie, but he didn't need something.
Yeah, no.
You might wanna set up an appointment with him right now while he's here.
Well, I gotta get the engineer to just make the changes, so that.
But at least figure out what this is. I don't want you guys to do
That's why I
this.
asked you. It took you forever to get this meeting.
Thanks.